So, Emily, as a fellow lady, kindly go fuck yourself. Taylor Swift is the best. Respectfully, of course. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Not Christmas, kids go back to school. I do not have any school-age children, I just hate kids. Yeah, I started this special neighborhood watch group this summer. It was awesome. We're called the Whippersnapper Whistleblowers. I'm the youngest one in the group. Everyone else is 65 and older. But we go around tattling on kids to their parents. It's freaking awesome. They drive me so crazy. So they throw rocks into my driveway from the landscaping of the neighbor, right? These are kids across the street. Like all the kids in the neighborhood seem to congregate there. I have this big front window and I have a bench that my dogs look out. I have 3 dogs. So what I do is that I get on my knees with my dogs and wait for them to wipe out on the rocks on their scooters. I just look like one of the dogs in the windows. I'm like, ha, fucker! Drives me nuts. I have to pick up all the rocks and go return them and stuff like that. So I haven't had a kid at home for 4 years. He moved out on his own. It was really hard for me. My son has a traumatic brain injury. So when he moved out, I was really scared for him, He chokes a lot and he just didn't have concepts of things. So it was really scary for me to have him move out on his own. And it's been 4 years, so now when he comes over, I'm like, what are you doing here? This is me time. It's very weird to have adult kids. And I think so much about the time he was little. And I remember, so does anyone know about brain injury at all? So there's no filter whatsoever when they speak. He's an adult now, he's starting to get a sex life, and he comes over and he wants to ask adult questions. I'm fine with that. My husband is not. It's like, dude, boundaries. And it took me, so he asked us a question the other night. I answered it, my husband was super uncomfortable, and it brought me back to a time when my son was about 7. He was in the bathtub, and what we did every night was we went over flashcards. So we were doing geography, flashcards. He was on his tummy, and he was rolling back and forth, and back and forth, and he got his first bony. So I had 2 sisters growing up, right? This new boy mom stuff was so new to me. Travis, get in here right now! I didn't know what to say. So my son is standing up, going boing, boing, boing. What is this? Travis, get your ass in here right now! Oh, and he's like, so? So as time went on, adolescence rolls in, and I'm like, you need to talk to your son about certain things. He was so uncomfortable with this. So you know what he did? He got the game Bop It. He pulled it out. It's like, this is all you need to know about self-exploration, son. You're gonna use a lot of the pull it, maybe some of the twist it, and the bop it as if you've done it 100 times that's the shame button. Just bop it. Like, wow, honey, good job explaining masturbation to our son. He's just so uncomfortable with those kind of things. So my son lives in an apartment, and I had to share some stories with him about apartment living. You know that apartment complex on Patterson by 27.5 Road that burned down some time ago? We used to live there. My son was a baby. And I was at home one day. My baby son had colic, so he screamed all night, all day. The only thing that would put him to sleep was the swing. And we were so poor, we were young, we had one of those wind-up ones. We lived on the bottom floor, and in the front there's this huge grass area. And I kept the door open one day, and in rolled some goats. Our neighbors had goats. I'm just laying there, I'm like half asleep because I'm so tired. And I see these goats roll in, and they're trying to like headbutt me. I'm sitting on the couch. So I pick up my baby, I stand on the counter, and my mom had made me this huge wreath of dried flowers. They jump on the couch, they're eating this wreath, they're eating my pillows. Young ones, this was back in the day of landlines. Everyone had a landline, not really cell phones. So I'm standing on the counter with my baby, trying to get a hold of animal control. This isn't the only time this has happened. They kept rolling into my apartment because I kept the door open to get some fresh air, and I was so tired as a new parent. My husband was a full-time worker and student, so he was rarely home. My son just screamed all the time. So I was tired. And we also had this neighbor, Ed, who was developmentally disabled, the nicest guy, and he loved babies. So he would just come into our apartment if I had the door open. One time I was going pee, I came in and he was trying to get my son out of the swing. What are you doing, Ed? Like, oh, he's so cute and he's sleeping. So apartment living. I don't want it ever again in my life. And my son gets to experience that for himself. So another great thing that's happening this time of year is fantasy football. Any of you losers do fantasy football? I hate it. My husband is obsessed. This is like, so all the dudes that used to play Dungeons and Dragons in high school have rolled over to fantasy football. And they're still not getting laid or can't play sports. My husband is most definitely not getting laid during fantasy football because it's the unsexiest thing I've ever seen. He is a commissioner for most of his leagues, and he feels almighty. He thinks he is so cool. I got him a commissioner shirt, and he wears that so proudly, and he gets so into it. It's like, honey, please join one of my leagues with me. It's something we can do together. I don't know anything about football. You guys are fucking dorks. I don't want to do it. He's like, please do something with me. So I joined a league. We had our draft day, and I had to get all my players based on cool names. I placed 8th out of 10 in the league based on that. I still don't know anything about football, but I told them I would play again this year, and this time I'm going based on nicest asses. I don't care how you play, do you have a nice ass? I bet you I'll place in the top 5. Fantasy football. Tell me again, show of hands, who plays fantasy football? Dude. Do you get laid throughout the year? Oh! Do you think you're hot because you're a commissioner? Do you get laid? I'm a commissioner, baby. Okay. Is this your girlfriend right here? Second date. Woo! Honey, I've been married 30 years. Leave now. He's a commissioner. You're in for it. I'm so disappointed in myself that I do fantasy football now. I don't even touch myself for 5 months. Good for you. Good for you. Gotta do what you want to do, right? Just know you're not cool. Speaking of not cool, I'm so fucking over summer. Who else? Woo! Woo! I have this awful disease called MS, so the heat makes me so sick. I'm so over it. So I'd like to drive to the one of many car washes here in town and, keep the windows open, go cool off. So what is that about Grand Junction and car washes right now? Have any of you noticed there's 80 car washes here now? So they just built one up by one of the super churches. You notice that one? That Faith Heights, whatever. I'm thinking they have a partnership, and that's where they do their hard baptisms. Amanda, we're super happy that you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, but we know you had an affair with Joey's soccer coach last year. We're heading over to the car wash. Priest is there at the end, splash her with a little holy water. Pretty sure that's a partnership. Yeah. So who believes in baptizing your kids when they're young? Anyone? So I was baptized as a kid, under duress, and as an adult, by choice. I don't believe kids know who God is at that point, and I think that should be their choice. My son, when he was little, thought Steve from Blue's Clues was his Lord and Savior. Loved Blue's Clues. I am Heather Portner. Tell your dog I said hi. That's it for me.